Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for BroadwayWorld. MCC Theater kicks off their fall season with a new Neil LaBute play called The Money Shot, directed by Terry Kinney. And I'm here on opening night at 49 Grove, where I caught up with the company. I adored this play. I adore all of your plays. It's opening night. How do you feel tonight?
I feel good. I feel strange because I usually don't go to opening nights. It's pretty rare for me, but I'm really trying to do something new, trying to do a comedy, and it's all about audience and gauging reaction. So I was very curious, even with this friendly audience, friendly in quotes at least, of an opening, to see how it worked with an audience. And so it's a nice thing to do, to be with people and see your cast on stage and off stage and enjoying that moment, and so I feel good.
How did this play come about? How did you come to write it?
Well, at the beginning, I really just wanted to write a comedy. I felt like that's something I really not known for, and I haven't really ever attempted. As in writing, I use comedy in my work, but I'd never written on the page a comedy by, and so in general, I wanted to do that. And around the same time, I had heard a story about a film that was made a few years ago that a similar conceit had happened, that actors were asked by a director to have sex, and they had to go to their partners to see if it was all right. So they got dinner and talked about it. I didn't know any more than that, but I thought, what a great setup for a play. And then I also felt like I've spent a lot of time in that Hollywood world and movie making and never really used it in any of my writing. So I thought all those things combined would make an interesting play.
Let's talk about your wonderful cast. Some you've worked with before.
Yes. Fred Weller I've been working with for like almost 15 years now. And he just keeps getting better and able to do more and more stuff. I never write for anybody, but I always finish a play and I think, what part does he want to play? He could play anything, and so it's great to have him there. Crovatin I've worked with on stage, and she's actually done a couple of TV projects now, so she's an up-and-comer who I think is amazing. Liz Reaser, I've only done readings with up until now. She and Fred Weller did the first reading of Reasons to Be Pretty years ago as a couple, and so we'd always talk, let's try, we finally got a chance to do something. And Callie Thorne, I've just known of her work and thought she's amazing, and was lucky enough to get her to be in this play. So we just, across the board, got very lucky with the cast.
Then there's your director.
Terry Kinney, yeah, I've worked with on Reasons to Be Pretty, and it's just kind of, it's easy to work with somebody you kind of have a language, and you can just kind of pick each other's brain, and, I throw out ideas and he throws out lines, and together you build this thing. And a lot of what's up there is behavior that the actors have thrown out or he's thrown in there, and I'm lucky to in the end steal it all and put it on the page and pretend that it was mine. But it's great to have people to collaborate who
I love him because he was an actor and a director. So like Fred said, he's totally. But he's such an actor's director. Fred said he's so organic too.
No, yeah, he thinks in those terms all the time. He wears two hats. That is not just being a director. He's thinking the way actors. He can jump up. It's not like a director who gets up and he goes, "Let me give you a bad line reading." He can give you a really good line reading. And he cares about the actors in a way that a director who doesn't understand that world couldn't possibly feel the same way. I'm happy I've taken acting classes, and that I direct, because it makes me understand those worlds in a way. If I didn't attempt those things, even if I have attempted them badly, I have an empathy for them that I wouldn't have otherwise, and he has that for those people.
Let's talk about working with MCC, Writer-in-Residence. Talk about this company and what it means to you.
It's you might as well call it home. This is the 9th play I've done with them, not counting benefits and working on workshops, and so that's a long time to be working with a company of people, and in a very vagabond life. Where you're like a gypsy. You go from place to place, and you're always meeting new people and setting up camp elsewhere. I come home here all the time and get to do a play with people that I know who will read everything and be honest with me, and they do the ones that work for them, and they tell me the ones that they don't do, why they don't do it, and so I feel like it's people I can trust, and so therefore I put all my faith in them, and they do the same with me, and we get along really well. so I'm lucky.
It's opening night. How do you feel tonight?
I feel excited. I feel relieved. I think it's very scary coming into previews and opening. So we're all just very excited.
Take me back to the beginning. What attracted you to the play?
Well, I was doing a movie in North Carolina. I replaced someone in this play. I came in 2 weeks into rehearsal. I had missed 2 weeks, which, as you can imagine, is in theater time is a long, long time. So I had just finished another job, and I got the call, and I just love Neil. I've always known I've loved his work forever, and they said you have 36 hours to get to New York and get to rehearsal, and your first preview's in 18 days, and I just went, yeah, let's do it.
Sometimes that's the best way to do it. Throw yourself into a group of actors who you know. Some of them you knew, right?
Mm-hmm. I've known Fred for a long, long time. I've known Callie sort of around, and I knew they were all amazing, and I knew Terry Kinney was directing it, so I would be in good hands. But yeah, I really had to throw myself in. There was no jacking around.
Tell me what you love about the character and the role without giving too much away.
Well, I love the role of Karen because she's just so unabashedly herself and fabulous and larger than life and emotional and just follows her emotions wherever they take her, and she's an actress, and so it's very, very fun to play.
And working with this cast.
I love this cast. We've had a lot of crazy fun moments. I mean, you've seen the plays. It's a very, very funny play, and we just lose our minds. And half the time, it's like I have to try and not look at Fred Weller, because if I look at him, I'm going down. I won't be able to stop laughing. So I have to time out certain moments to just focus on other things.
And then you have one of the best directors with Terry Kinney. What is he like as a director?
Terry Kinney is just the greatest theater director I've ever worked with. I mean, he is really, he takes whatever instincts you have and he just sort of blows them up and he just makes you feel very confident about your choices and about where you're going. And for me, coming in with 18 days, there's no way I could have done it without someone cheering me on and giving. It's also it's like having a great actor giving you all of their choices at the same time. So it's just giving you gold all day long, and you couldn't be luckier to work with Terry Kinney.
And let's talk about Neil, because this is unlike anything he's written before. This is sort of like a pure comedy for him. Talk about him as a writer and what he means to you.
Well, I've always loved Neil because I feel like his writing is very real and very specific, and all his characters have very original voices. I think Neil has an original voice, and I like how sick and twisted that he can get. I appreciate that. It feels very real to me in the world that we live in. And it's very easy. It makes it easy for you as an actor because the words make sense. They feel like real people. And he's very, very fun and sweet to be around, and easy, very kind to actors, and very open to hearing what everyone has to say, which that's not always the case.
I love the stage work that you choose. We lost your movies and TV, but you always come back. But I love the choices that you make. How do you choose your stage work?
Many times my stage work chooses me, in this situation. But I think for me, to do a play, there's nothing harder in terms of acting. So it's got to be the right director, the right material, and I want to be really scared. And I am. I'm terrified doing this, and that's the most exciting thing. So anytime I can get a chance to do that, I'm here.
And being here at MCC in that beautiful little intimate theater, the Lucille Lortel, what that means to you?
Well, this theater, since I came to New York in 1995, I've been seeing shows at this theater since then, and it's always held a very special place in my heart. Truly, it's a magical space, and the neighborhood there's just nowhere better in New York to be. And I grew up wanting to be an actress in New York. I wanted to be a theater actress, and so to walk out on that stage every night, it really feels like I'm living my dream.
And to work for MCC.
And to work for MCC, which I've known these guys forever because they cast me in, I think my first play I did, Michael Greif directed me in Sweet Bird of Youth, and they cast me in it many, many years ago at La Jolla Playhouse. And so they've been real kind to me over the years.
You're wearing Halston.
I'm wearing Halston.
I know. It's like a dream come true. I'm seriously in a dream right now. I'm kind of like floating, so forgive me.
What does tonight feel like for you?
It's so exciting. I mean, this is a show I've been a part of for 3 years and workshopped, and gladly MCC took me on to do this. And it's just such a wonderful, crazy play that I really believe in and love so deeply. And I'm just thrilled to share the stage with these incredible actors.
Well, let's talk about the play.
Yes.
What attracted you to the play?
It's funny. Who doesn't love funny? Yeah, and it's about Hollywood, and honestly, Hollywood people aren't really that much different from the way that we are. Just a little bit like on a bloated scale, so a bigger scale. But yeah, it's just funny and real and honest, and it gets dark, which you can't not love dark. Plus, it's Neil LaBute. It's Neil LaBute. Come on.
I love this. This is like his first comedy.
Yeah, his first comedy. I mean, he put that down on a piece of paper, and I think, like, come on, he did it. It's hilarious. Audiences have been so wonderful and supportive, and we feel that they're upstage. If they're having half as much fun as we're having doing the play, then our job is done.
Let's talk about the role, what you love about her.
Missy, gosh. I mean, I think there are so many wannabe actresses, blonde, 20-something people, and I definitely feel that way, but it's so fun to play someone who you think you know exactly who they are at the very beginning of the play, but by the end it's something a little bit completely different, and that's been such a joy for me. And also physical comedy is like, when do you get to really do the physical stuff? Like Lucille Ball, one of my heroes, Carol Lombard, one of my heroes. It's like I'm getting to do that, and I'm the luckiest gal in the world.
See, that's what I love about this play. With any good play, you should know where it's going to go, but there are so many twists and turns in this play, and you're like, wow.
Yes, wow. I mean, it's great. Reading it on the page, you're like, no, this isn't happening. Wait, what's going on now? What are they doing next? And I just think that, like, if audiences are in for the ride, they're going to have a total blast.
So let's talk about the cast.
Yes. Oh my God. Fred Weller. Come on. Fred Weller. He's amazing. We have Elizabeth Reaser, who came in 2 weeks into the process and is just kicking butt as this diva actress. And then Callie Thorne, who's a soul sister of mine now. I'm a really lucky girl. I get to work with these people. I get to go to work every day with these people. I'm really lucky.
And then there's your director, Terry Kinney. What was he like working with?
He is just so giving and kind, but he's also a really funny human being. So he really had like a meter that was just like, we got to make this funny and we got to keep this truthful. And I think he really kept us on task, and I so appreciate that. He's a wonderful person and a wonderful director.
And working for MCC, what it means to you?
The first day we came in and saw the set for dress rehearsal, I was in tears. It's been a dream of mine to work for MCC. They're an incredible company. They take risks. I'm so proud of them, and I think they just do incredible work. And I'm like speechless talking about it because it's a dream come true. It really, really is.
So when you took your bow tonight, what went through your mind? Do you remember?
I need a drink.
That's a good one.
That's what happened.
Put on a Halston.
Yeah, I gotta put my Halston dress on and get a drink. No, but like grateful, really, truly, sense of gratefulness.
You look stunning.
Why, thank you.
How do you feel tonight?
I'm thrilled and elated, and I'm so happy with everybody's reaction to the play, and because they seem as excited about it as we do, and I'm happy.
Take me back to the beginning. When you first read the play, what went through your mind, and tell me why you wanted to do it.
Well, there's many reasons why I wanted to do it. I had been angling to do a Neil LaBute play for a really long time, basically since I had seen The Shape of Things, which was eons ago, which Fred Weller was in, and I had known Fred for 100 years, and as well, and so it was. This play I knew was floating around, and when it had come towards me, and I started going towards it. I hadn't done a play in 10 years because I had been doing television and just making some money so that I could be on my own and take care of myself, and I really was fighting for this play because I felt like if this was the first play I was going to get to do in 10 years, this was the one to do. I love what I most love about Neil's writing. I love the way he writes arguments, and I think that this has some of the best arguments ever. and the fact that also obviously some of the twists that he has. This particular twist, which I will not give away, the fact that I am part of that twist, which I think is okay to say, was really very exciting and also really frightening. And when something frightens me, is one of the key things that makes me want to do something, which sounds it's a cliche of why actors want to do something. You want to do something because it scares you and because it's a challenge. But this really was why I wanted to do the play, because it was scary and exciting and funny, and that was it.
Without giving too much away, talk about your character and what you love about her, because you play her so well.
Well, I love that she is she's one of the grounding parts of the play. It's about Hollywood, and even though she is part of Hollywood, my character is an editor. She's not necessarily a movie star or an actor, but she's still part of Hollywood, so she gets it. But I love that she is a little bit of an outsider in this particular evening, so it's fun for me because I am an actor. It's fun for me to step out and play a person, because a lot of times, there's a lot of lines in the play where I'm sort of saying, like, really, you're going to refer to yourself as talent? Because here's what my mother has said to me: really, you talk about yourself as talent? And so there's a lot of things in here that make me laugh about myself, which you have to do if you want to be able to take yourself. You got to take yourself down a couple notches, if you want to be able to stay alive in this business and still get around town without you have to keep your ego in check, and I think that this play does a really good job of that.
Talk about your cast.
I love this cast so much. I knew Liz. Just she and I had met through the years, and I'd always wanted to work with her. Fred and I have, as I said, we've known each other for a really long time. We'd done a play together many moons ago, but we'd just known each other as friends before. I did not know Gia before, and I'm so grateful to know her now. And Terry and I had known each other, again, just through the years. We'd never worked together before, and Neil and I had, again, so it was sort of like this perfect storm of a little bit of knowing and a little bit of not knowing. But the puzzle pieces just fit together so well, and which doesn't always happen. And so I feel like tonight shows that the puzzle pieces fit really well together, and I'm very grateful for that, because it's a rarity, I think.
So let's talk about your season.
Oh, sure. Well, we're doing this, and before we even finish performances of this, we start rehearsals of Punk Rock, the play by Simon Stevens, that has a fantastic young cast. I'm not sure we're able to take them out for drinks. That's how young they are. They're amazing. It's set in a British boarding school. All these kids hanging out under pressure, trying to get their exams together, and sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes the pressure is too much. And it's a really sexy young cast. And Simon's written a great play. They did it in England, I think about 5 years ago. We've been dying to get it over here since then, and we finally pulled it together. We have Trip Cullman directing it, who is amazing, and that one's going to be exciting.
Okay. And then you have?
Then we're doing The Nether by Jen Haley, which was done first in Los Angeles. It just got a production at the Royal Court. This play is a little mind-blowing. It's set in a dystopian future when you can create online fantasy worlds where literally anything can happen. And some of what happens would be illegal in this world. And the play is about an investigator who's trying to decide whether things that have happened in a virtual world should be prosecuted in our world because they're so over the line. It's really It's spooky and fascinating and deeply, deeply prescient. And we have Annie Kaufman directing it, who is electrifying. I've never met a director in my life who dials in the tone of voice of a play like she does. So we're incredibly excited about that.
Good for you. So when they were taking their bow tonight, you're all at the theater. What was going through your mind?
I love those people. I gotta say. So I watched the show tonight with my wife. We were sitting in the third row. I'm there every night through previews, watching all of this, giving notes. She doesn't work in this business at all. She comes with me to opening night. She loves the theater, but she's tough love. She's tough love. And sitting next to her tonight and feeling her laugh and bite into this show and like slide off her chair, that was it. That's the thrill. I've impressed my wife. What more can you ask out of theater?
It doesn't get any better than that, does it? The hardest critic.
No joke.
So here we are. It's opening night. Fred, I loved you in this play. I adored the play. How do you feel tonight?
I feel good. It's a lot of fun. Very fun play.
Now, you've done a lot of Neil's plays. Tell me what you loved about this one.
I love this play because it's a pure comedy. There's a fair amount of drama as well, but it's more of a purist comedy than Neil's other works, and a lot of laughs.
What can you tell us about the guy you play without giving too much away?
My character, Steve Stone, is an old-fashioned fella, traditionalist, and he's an action movie hero, basically, an actor who's had some big hits, and his career is on the wane, and he's desperate to resuscitate it, and that makes him hungry.
And talk about your fellow cast members, this wonderful little ensemble you're working with.
It's an amazing cast. Gia Crovatin, Callie Thorne, whom I've known over 20 years, and Elizabeth Reaser are really jaw-dropping talents and extremely funny.
And working with director Terry Kinney, because you've worked with him before, right?
I have not worked with Terry. I know Terry Kinney personally, but this is the first time I've worked with him. It's a real pleasure. He's an amazing director. He's got just a great talent and a great knack for comedy.
I was going to ask you, him being an actor first, he's an actor's director?
Yeah, he's definitely an actor's director. I mean, he's a great actor, so you just trust everything he says.
Yeah. And let's just talk about Neil as a writer, what you love about his writing.
I love Neil's writing because the characters are all very distinctive, and yet there is a kind of he has a language. I love David Mamet too, and David Mamet has a clear voice, but the characters don't speak in as quite as differentiated a way as they do in Neil's, despite this. He's got this overall language, but the characters are all very distinct and extremely funny without being glib. I don't know how he does it. He's just got an amazing ear, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Now let's talk about all the physical stuff that you do in the show. I mean, what was the rehearsal process like of working on all the sort of the wrestling stuff that you guys do?
Well, Terry had this great idea. He brought in a dancer and choreographer from Palabolis, who brought in a high school wrestling coach. So the high school wrestling coach brought in a couple of his wrestlers, and they worked out some wrestling moves, and the Palabolis guy kind of choreographed it and turned it into more of a stage fight. But all with legitimate high school wrestling moves, except for one move, which would be illegal. And the high school coach was really he was kind of upset about it. He's like, no, you can't put her legs around his neck. And I'm like, buddy, it's okay. It's a play. But it was a great idea. Terry had many great ideas.
Had you wrestled before?
No, I mean, I was not on the team. I mean, I knew guys on the team who showed me a couple of moves, more or less just to embarrass me when we were drunk. But no, I'm not a wrestler.
Gotcha. And just talk about working for MCC, what this company means to you.
I mean, MCC it's kind of half my resume, and it's close to my house too. So it's really an amazing. It's a coup to be able to do a play here every year or two, and walk to work. I mean, it's an amazing, and having Neil as their in-house writer is also great. I mean, it's a wonderful company, and they're doing stuff. They've got their own vision which I love.